Alrighty, everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to the Purified Podcast. My name is Luis Palacios. My co-host Chris. How's it going, Chris?
It is very good. It's going very good, and my tongue is twisted.
Wonderful, wonderful. All right, today is I want to say February, but it's March 8th, 2020. And today we have, once again, another podcast to talk about the news in Pokemon Go for the last week. Thank you very much, LHW Gaming, for coming to the stream. We're going to go ahead and get it started, of course. But Chris, before we start on today's research, how's your week been?
It's been going pretty good. Everyone's really active in the Discord, so we've been out and about. I've been hunting, trying to get them good shadow Pokemon, and of course hunt all the shinies. So I think we both had some pretty good luck personally, especially with PvP IVs too.
Definitely. We'll talk about, of course, all of that in just a moment because you're getting ahead of yourself there, Chris, because we have a lot to talk about when it comes down to that.
You're right.
All right, but we'll go ahead and continue on, of course. But today we have a massive, once again, news of research. We have today's topics research are going to be the Go Battle League announcements that was just made a few days ago about Season 1. We have the Team Go Rockets Takeover recap, our Darkrai Raids weekend recap. We have Shadow Pokemon's Boost being live in the game. We have Community Day for Abra coming in next week. We have our section for PvP, and we're going to review how the Go Battle League is going to keep on going and see how all of this is going to be. So we're gonna start small. I'm gonna try to leave the Go Battle League's announcements until almost at the end of this, just because there is a lot, and I want to actually just put it on with our PvP Get Good or Get Wreck, of course. But we got other things to talk about, of course, a little bit of miscellaneous news and everything. But see how it goes. So, Chris, you were talking about the Team Go Rocket, and as you mentioned, we had the Team Go Rocket takeover happening or happened last Saturday or yesterday, I guess, for us. You were saying that you got some good PvP months and everything, right?
That is correct. There was definitely a few that I made a list of, just naming them TM. I think it was most important to get the ones that had really high attacks, like Charm and like Counter and Confusion. I think those are going to be the ones that really change the meta. I mean, we're already seeing a little bit of a shift just on simulations like PvPoke, like just the amount of wins that a certain Pokemon can get versus what it normally would be able to get.
Yeah, definitely. I'm for sure that that is going to be a really interesting thing. Now that I was going to talk about the Shadow Pokemon boost later, but I guess we should talk about this also now. The reason why the Team Go Rocket takeover is actually a more thing that you want to do nowadays is because of the new boost that Shadow Pokemons are getting for their attacks. So before, Shadow Pokemons were basically there to either purify them, get handles of it, basically in any shape or form to get a good Pokemon. They were not as great just because Shadow Pokemons had low IVs and they were really hard to power up, get their second move or anything similar. But because of this new Shadow Pokemon boost, Shadow Pokemon's attack is going to have a bonus of 1.2 multiplier, but their defense is going to actually it's going to be lowered by a 0.83 multiplier. So it's going to be squishier or glassier when a lot of people say it, but the boost on their attacks is going to be a lot harder and stronger. The Purify versus Shadow, I think the Purify attacks of Purify Pokemons are going to deal to Shadow Pokemons is going to be a 1.0, so just a small boost, but of course a lot of people usually just use their good Pokemons when it comes down to it. And then of course the Shadow Stardust and Candy cost has been reduced by 1.2 instead of a 3 times multiplier. So it's actually cheaper to actually boost up the Pokemons. Of course, it costs more than a regular Pokemon or a purified Pokemon, but at least it's not like over the top shadow Pokemon things that comes down to it. The third move also has been reduced by just over half the percentage of what you usually use in Stardust and Candy. Chris, because of all that, you said that you were getting a lot of Pokemon's TM and everything because the Tingle Rocket takeover also lets you TM frustration away, and that basically just made a whole lot more sense to do it. Now, this only happens throughout the takeover on Saturday, March 7th, from 2 to 5 p.m. local time. So you can TM frustration away. If you were to purify the Pokemon, you will still get return, but you're not stuck with a move that you couldn't basically take away only through the Shadow Pokemons. There's other things that we'll talk about the Team Go Rocket takeover, but in the end of the day, that was the big winner of that event, correct, Chris?
Yeah, in my opinion, it was really just to give really good PvP shadow Pokemon good moves. I mean, if you had legendaries or hundos, of course, give that them so they're not just sitting in your inventory doing nothing and collecting dust, looking pretty. So you want them to be useful.
That's true, and I don't know if, for at least for me, I don't know if it's like a contradiction to the whole, save shadow Pokemons and then purify them kind of thing.
I've been thinking that too.
Yeah, it's kind of like, okay, so they introduced Tingle Rocket so that we have like a kind of an antagonist for the game. And that antagonist was, I mean, I want to say it was actually good because, I mean, you have something else in the game that you can do aside from just catching Pokemons and doing things differently. PvP and all of that did change how we looked at things, but the Tingle Rocket's experience have actually been more about trying to save the Pokemons from the Tingle Rocket grunts, the leaders, and even Giovanni himself. With this kind of change, it kind of changes the way that the Shadow Pokemons can actually be used. Now, it's a good change, and I want to say it's a bad change. I think that we're going to see over the coming days how the Shadow Pokemons and the way that we were able to TM frustration out of their actual, the actual Shadow Pokemons themselves, it's going to change the meta that we see in either the Great League, Silk Arena, the Go Battle League itself, and then all of the other things that it just makes Shadow Pokemons a little more resilient in their own way. Not in how they're basically glass cannons, but that's how that we are going to see Shadow Pokemons be from now on, at least.
Yeah, personally, I don't see them as shield busters, but if they get to a charge move, they will demand a shield, in my opinion. Like, I do have an Electivire that has like Thunder Punch and Ice Punch. I do think that will demand shields a lot more than obviously a normal Electivire would. And I personally think the big winners of this are Pokemon that have like Charm and just moves that are super effective as the quick move, especially something like Mawile with Power Up Punch, because you're just going to be, even if they shield your Power Up Punch, you're still going to be just chipping away at them more and more. So if they don't have anything that mows you down, like say you have a Gardevoir, for example, if you don't have a poison user or a ghost type that's like able to hit them like ASAP, they are going to mow you down very easily.
Yeah, definitely. There's just a lot going on for sure that it's going to uh, basically change the way that we look at Shadow Pokemons. Now, we don't know how this change is going to be implemented just yet. People are testing. People are seeing they're actually going to be. Maybe the Silph arenas will finally see a little more intake into the Shadow Pokemons. And they did mention that Shadow Pokemons are going to be. They're still going to be part of the meta, but now they're going to be signified that we can actually see if the Pokemon is Shadow or not when you see it, because maybe the boost may actually be a game changer than more than we think. And when the new leagues for Silph Arena and even the Go Battle League start going up in atoms, and that's how I say it. We should be able to see how shadow Pokemons are actually going to affect it. So for now, it's good that we have it. Unfortunately for me, I did not do much of the takeovers themselves because when they announced it, it was already basically going, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to do it. I worked until 2 o'clock that day, and then just basically was like, you know what, I'm too tired. I don't want to actually like kill myself over this. And plus, I was already doing other things on top of the takeover and everything. So if you benefit from it, guys, good for you. Try to see how you're actually going to change your metas, but we'll see how it goes.
I mean, in my opinion, the only reason to really get into doing it on a Saturday yesterday was to look for the Pokemon that they took away from the leaders, like Meowth, Scyther, Sneasel, when they keep rotating it every month. So you got a chance to find them, but they were very spread out. So you didn't, it's not like you even knew what you were going to fight till you actually started fighting them either.
Yep, that is true. That is true. So we'll see how things go from then, and I don't know. You guys will let us know if you have, of course, anything that you want to tell us, and of course you want to give us a little more information about how Shadow Pokemons are going to be introduced. Just give us a call, give us an email. We would love to hear from you guys, and then of course we'll talk about it if you guys want us to. So, Chris, are you ready for the next recap?
I'm always ready.
So our next recap, of course, is going to be Darkrai Weekend. As I previously mentioned, we had Darkrai from 8 a.m. on Friday morning, local time, until 10 p.m. tomorrow on Monday. So Darkrai has been spawning like crazy for the last 2.5 days. And Chris, can you tell me how the good news are for you for Shiny Darkrai?
Well, I want to say I did about 3 or 4 raids, and it was very sunny. So I was raiding, and I was like, oh man, I didn't get the shiny. And then I saw the sparkles come out. So I was able to get my shiny after about 4 raids. Not very good. It's like 2079, I believe. It is
Okay.
like 13 or 14 attack, though. So that's cool, but I don't think it's an Ultra League champion. So I don't know if I'm going to power it up even.
Right, and just like we said before, Darkrai is a Pokemon that you cannot trade because he is technically classified as a mythical Pokemon, so you are not able to change the IVs for those. Now, is it a good thing? Probably not, but it is something that we can at least grind for since now you're not relying on anybody else to but yourself to get this Pokemon. I, for myself, went and did Darkrai race as soon as I got off of work on Friday. I did about 6 raids that night, and that was one of the reasons why I didn't do the takeover because I was like, you know what? I already went my way out of going after work, doing some raids, and then I have to go out again and do the takeover. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna skip the takeover for now. I'm pretty sure there's gonna be another one eventually, and from now on, I'm gonna save a lot of the shadow Pokemons now. That was the reason why I really didn't do the takeover. But again, it was mostly because I was more focused on making sure that I did as many Darkrai's as possible so I can get the shiny. I did get the
Yeah.
shiny, and that was the lucky part of it. uh, that at least after probably what 7 or 8 raids from the day before and then the same day, I was able to get myself a shiny Darkrai. Thank goodness.
He screamed, guys. He screamed.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did scream for it. Mostly because it's a Pokemon that if you're not don't get a shiny, there is no way of getting a shiny unless it gets re-released in some way, shape, or form. So I was happy. I was very happy that I did. It's not great IVs. I think it's like rank 30 something for Ultra League. So it's not like the greatest. And we go by the Ghost Stadium rankings because there's not a lot of places that you can actually see the rankings unless you have the specific IVs for it, like PvPoke and all that. So
I mean, a lot of people don't realize, like, they'll be like, oh, but you don't have a rank one. A rank one is 0, 15, 15. Well, you can't trade it. So you can only get it from the raid IVs. So it's 10, 13, 13 for the perfect one for rating.
Yes. And funny story because we were raiding with a friend of mine, and then I met up with Chris. We did a couple of the great raids, and then on the same raid that I got the shiny, my friend of mine that was with me actually got the number 1 PvP Ultra for the Darkrai, the 13 13, and we were just talking about it. And then all of a sudden he says, "Oh, here it is." I'm like, "What?"
What were the IVs you said? Shows us 10, 13, 13.
And we were like, well, you know what? This is just one of those days. We were like literally talking the odds of getting that type of IV was just like insane. You know, how do you get that?
Astronomically low.
Yes, yes.
Okay, not that bad, but still bad.
Yeah, no, it's not that. I mean, it was a possibility, and of course, he got it, and he was happy about it, mostly because he doesn't have that many Pokemon that actually, you know, help him get in through the leagues and everything. He actually haven't done the Go Battle League himself, so he doesn't have that new Scraggy and everything. So, rip. So that's basically Darkrai weekend. It's still going on, of course. Raids have been popping off left and right. Everybody's making sure that they do at least enough to be able to get their shinies. But some get lucky, some don't. Sometimes they get like go ahead and do like 20, 30 raids and they still haven't gotten the shiny. A lot of people online actually have been saying the same thing, that they've been doing as many as they could, but they haven't actually getting lucky enough. Everybody's also been looking for the Hondo or even the Shando for that matter. I think I only seen like one actually being posted online, and then everything else has been a Hondo or either a good IV one. So it is what it is.
I mean, like, to be fair, they can get it from Go Battle League right now from the rewards, but I mean, the odds of that, like, odds of even encountering one are very slim too. So
that is true, and that was one of the things that the Go Battle League preseason has done to help the players, aside from the things that are happening both in Italy, South Korea, and all the places that are being affected by the coronavirus and everything. It's been worldwide, so aside from not actually being able to do the Go Battle Leagues by requiring walking, ourselves, we can actually get a Darkrai or one of the legendary Pokemons that are actually being on race right now. So get out there, do your Go Battle League battles. It's basically the same as using a raid pass and then just trying to get the shiny for that way if you cannot do raids. So try to do as much as you can. You have until tomorrow on Monday. If this podcast goes live tomorrow, great. If not, I'm sorry. But we'll see how at the end of the day Darkrai raid weekend was good. Now we are getting another legendary raid weekend next weekend, which is I think Giratina.
I believe that's correct. Just let me double check really quick.
Well, Chris, let's check on that, of course. Either Giratina or Cobalion special raid weekend. Once again, we'll have a full weekend of them. Now, he's not the only one being spawned. There is the Tornadoes that's still spawning in raids. But it's during the weekend, it's very minimal. I only seen probably one or two, even three at best, Tornadoes raids since Darkrai came into the weekend. So yeah.
Yeah, it's Giratina.
So Giratina is gonna be the next weekend, guys. Make sure you have your Dragon types or Charm users or anything that you can actually put yourself together for Giratina. Now, of course, he's already been shiny, but I mean, another chance to get the shiny, that'd be great. So before we continue, I'm gonna say hi to the chat. Derp, thank you for coming by. Suda Wuda Plays, thank you very much for coming by. I appreciate it. We'll continue on with the podcast, of course. But if you guys want to talk about anything, just let us know. Well, don't forget to give that little like on the video here. So, again, Darkrai, you got until tomorrow. Giratina next weekend. Just be prepared, be ready once again. Hey, Peppercut, how's it going? All right, so for our next topic for today, we actually have the news for Community Day for next week, actually. So next week on Sunday, we have Community Day Abra, as we mentioned before, from the Dana Miners. But it's going to come with a little bit extra surprises. For only $1 or 99 cents, depending on your currency in your country, there will be a new way to experience Community Day. When you purchase this special research they call Investigating Illusions, you get the chance, once completed, to get 13,000 Stardust, a Puffin,
Yes.
Rocket Raider, 3 incense, and other rewards. So, Chris, tell me, do you think that this is a good way to change up the Community Day?
I think it's a nice addition. I mean, people already love going out and catching everything on community days, but it's a pretty good addition to it in my opinion.
Yeah, I do think that it's a good addition, especially because Community Day is working a little bit stale. For the reason that after they started doing the whole voting thing, now everybody votes for their actual Community Day Pokemon that they want to see. There has been now more data mining for the next Community Days, and we'll probably talk about that in the next week coming along. Just because once Community Day Abra comes around, they'll probably talk about how the next votings are going to be and everything. So, Community Day Abra is gonna have, of course, the shiny final release Into the World. It's going to come with, I think, 3 times Stardust, if that's correct, Chris.
I hope so, but the chances of catching it, I mean, unless they raise the catch odds, I mean, if you don't know, Abra runs after the first Pokeball thrown. So if you don't catch it, it is a slightly higher catch rate than a lot of Pokemon. But if you don't catch it in that first ball, normally it would run. So if you
Normally.
encounter a shiny and it runs after the first ball, a lot of people are going to be crying. So I doubt they're going to do that for the community day at least.
Yeah, and that was the reason. I think that was the way that to get in touch with the main games, because once you encounter an Abra in the main games, unless you actually catch it on the first turn, it'll just use teleport and get and boot it out of there during the time off. So that is basically the way that they did. But I will get confirmation on Community Day Abra and what are the bonuses for it, because our viewers need to know. So our viewers, our listeners, make sure that we know exactly what we're talking about. So while that loads and gets us a little more, no, it
It's going
doesn't.
to be 3 times catch XP.
Okay, so 3 times catch XP. The lures, of course, is gonna be 3 hours, and the $1 Community Day special research. Now, a lot of people are saying, "Hey, this is a way to monetize Community Day," and I'm just like, well, Niantic has to make money somehow. And
Well, to be fair, you don't have to buy it. It's just something extra onto what you already experienced.
that
So you
is
can still experience Community Day the same way.
that is true. That is true. Community Day is still free to play. Nothing out the ordinary. You'll still have the same bonuses that everybody's gonna have. You don't have to buy into this, but I think it's a nice addition just because it gives you extra Stardust, a Puffin where usually it's $1 for a Puffin, a Rocket Raider which is usually what, $2 in the store.
I believe so. I mean, I'm interested to see why they're giving us a rocket radar, to be honest.
That's true, but yes, a Rocket Raider is 200 coins in the stores, which is the equivalent of $2. 3 incense, which is technically right now half of the price, so it's actually pretty good still. And you still get to experience Community either way, so it's not too bad when it comes down to it. Who knows? We'll see. Now, people are saying that you can continue on playing and keep on buying the research, and you can spend as like $100 on the research. It's probably only going to be a one-time thing, guys. You buy it, you get it over with, and that's it. You're not gonna be able to continue buying into this research until the community ends.
If you could keep buying it over and over again, it would be a pay to win game. So they really shouldn't do it like that.
Yes. So when it comes down to it, it's not going to be a pay to win. It's gonna be a one-time thing. It's what it is when it comes down to it. So, Community Day, guys, March 14 or 15, I think it is. Haha, I don't remember, guys. Ooh, where is it? I don't think they made it. Oh yeah, there is an announcement. Yeah, March 15. Once again, being a from Northern Hemisphere to Southern Hemisphere. Northern, of course, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. That is a Sunday, so make sure you catch that. And then Southern Hemisphere will be from 3 to 6. So that is Community Day Abra. Now we have a full announcement, so now we know what we are expecting, which is kind of nice. So All right, Chris, are you ready for this next announcement?
It depends. I think so.
So, we're going to get into our section, our PvP section called Get Good or Get Wrecked. I forgot to say that on last time, but that's because we weren't talking a lot of PvP on the last podcast.
Yeah, not too much. Not too much.
But we once again have another massive update coming to Pokemon Go, which is the beginning of Go Battle League Season 1. Starting Friday, March 13th at 1 p.m. PST, which is basically 4 p.m. for us. Trainers, the Go Battle League's preseason is coming to an end, and we're excited to announce that Go Battle League Season 1 officially starts on Friday, March 13, 2020. From trainers who gave the Go Battle League a try to earn Sinnoh for Reinhardt Community Day to battlers who climb all the way to the top at rank 10, we thank you. We've been working on improving the Pokemon Go global online battling system, and it's all thanks to your participation and feedback. Chris, get ready.
I'm ready.
So again, guys, this is all being coming from Pokemon Go Live. So this is straight from the source. This is their announcement for Go Battle League. For those who haven't actually had a chance to try it, what is Go Battle League? Well, we all know what Go Battle League is. So I'm not going to go over that because we understand that Go Battle League is just basically us battling with other trainers around the world. Of course, these events are being affected once again in Japan, South Korea, and Italy. Just make sure you guys understand that they are actually adjusting those places from now. But the first thing that we have here from them is the legendary and mythical Pokemons are coming to the Go Battle League. For a limited time, Darkrai, Altered Form Giratina, and Tornadoes will be coming to the Go Battle League as a rare reward encounter, starting from the rank 4. Darkrai and Altered Form Giratina especially can be powerful additions to your Ultra League and Master League teams, so be sure to catch them if you can. You'll have a chance to encounter Darkrai as a Go Battle League reward encounter from Friday, March 6th, from 8 a.m. Monday to March 9th at 10 p.m. local time. So basically the weekend for Darkrai, which is still going on right now. If you're lucky, you'll get the shiny Darkrai. You'll have a chance to encounter Altered Form Giratina as a Go Battle League reward. March 13 to March 16, local time, of course. And of course, if you're lucky, you'll get a shiny Altered Form Giratina. For all other periods, you'll have a chance to encounter the legendary Pokemon Tornadoes as a reward encounter in the Go Battle League and to further notice. Chris, you think that they are on the other two special weekends like Lugia and Cobalion, they'll have the Go Battle League rewards like that, right?
I hope so, but they haven't announced it yet, so I'm not sure. Personally, at least I don't see it here yet. So I'm not sure yet, to be honest.
So this is actually, all of this is actually being announced before the actual season 1 begins. But it is something that at least gives the players the chance that at least the ones who cannot raid, actually get a chance to meet a mythical Pokemon or a legendary Pokemon out of the encounter rate. I think the first time is guaranteed. That was at least my case when Darkrai came around. But then after that,
personally, not for me.
Yeah, well, okay, so it's not guaranteed the first time because what did you get when Darkrai came around?
I want to say I got a shield on.
Okay.
And I was very disappointed. I still haven't seen a Scraggy since my first.
Oh, that sucks. That sucks, and you gotta cut off a little bit there. So, all right.
Sorry.
It's all right. But yeah, so it might not be fully guaranteed the first time around, guys, but you still have a chance to get Darkrai and Giratina for those dates. You got until tomorrow for Darkrai and then next weekend for Giratina. But there is more to come, of course, because the Go Battle League, it starts with 2 special events. The greatest trainer know to prepare before a tough battle. Leading up to and at the beginning of Season 1, we look forward to the following Go Battle League's team events or theme events to help you catch strong Pokemon to use in battle and gain more Stardust to power up your Pokemon. Please note that the events of exclusive Pokemon appearing in raids in the wild will not occur in Japan, South Korea, and Italy. Event bonuses will still occur in those places. Pipoker said that he only got 1 Scraggy so far. I think I got 3, but I can't remember. An event to help you prepare for the Go Battle League from Thursday, March 10th at 8 a.m. to Thursday, March 12th at 10 p.m. local time. Strong Pokemon will appear in raids, including Skarmory, Swampert, Shieldon, and more. Registeel and Cresselia will be appearing in 5-star raids. You'll also earn twice as usual Stardust from raid battles and trainer battles during this event. Please note that this bonus will not apply to Go Battle League trainer battles.
All I'm saying is if Swampert doesn't have Hydro Cannon, it is a wasted pass.
That is true. Swampert needs his Community Day move to be able to actually be relevant in any PvP scene. Skarmory is a nice addition just because Skarmory is a great league killer, and Shieldon, of course, is because Bastion is a tanker. So Registeel and Cresselia is kind of nice, but of course they're putting an event within an event. So that's the raid week that we're gonna have before season 1 of the Battle League starts, which is on Tuesday. And I want a shiny Cresselia and a Registeel. So Chris, get off my phone and go do me some raids, please.
Oh my gosh. I think I got 2 shiny Registeel, and the one Cresselia I have is a 98. So I don't know how much I'm going to be rating them, to be honest, other than maybe getting a Cresselia to trade somebody else for a good PvP IV'd one, to be honest.
All right,
Is someone jealous?
All right. Anyways, let's go back to professionalism, guys. So, a Go Battle League Season 1 launch celebration from Friday, March 13, which is the very first day of the Go Battle League Go Live, at 8 a.m. to Monday, March 16 at 10 p.m. local time. More Pokemon throughout the power to be powerful in Go Battle League will be available in raids, including Ultra Form Giratina and 5-star raids. Fighting-type Pokemon will also be appearing more frequently in the wild. Also, if you're lucky, you might find yourself a shiny Timbert. Your best bet will be to battle in and catching in 1-star raids. There will also be the following Go Battle League bonuses during the event period. You will receive a premium battle pass when you win all 5 battles in the set of the premium track of the Go Battle League. You'll be able to complete 7 sets of Go Battle League battles per day, up to from a regular 5 stars to up to at least 35 battles a day, and you'll receive bonus Stardust in the Go Battle League. Chris, were you prepared for that?
All I'm saying, I mean, my favorite thing from that is the fact that you can earn back a premium battle pass. But I not to be a beggar, but I do feel like it'd be cool if they added that to the free one too, where if you won all 5, you'd get a premium battle pass. But that would be a good way for them to lose money. But how many people are gonna win all 5 battles? Honestly,
Not a lot. I can tell you that much. That not a lot of people go 5-0 in this game, in this meta, unless you're cheating. But there's no confirmed cheat on the game, so.
I've had some weird ones, but I think it's just laggy battles for now, to be honest.
It's just weird when it comes down to it, and we'll see how it goes. The premium battle pass is kind of a nice addition to winning all 5 league battles in the premium set, but I don't know. Like, again, it's just nobody's really going to win a lot of them, and even if you're already using your battle pass, it's not going to be effective unless you win all 5 of them. The extra bonus, though, the Stardust, is kind of nice, though.
Oh, I of course. I mean, I would say something that a lot of players can agree on, that power up their Pokemon. The easiest thing to run out of is Stardust. So, any way to get Stardust easier is definitely very appreciated.
That is true.
I mean, I do think it's interesting the way they worded it for the Timber, because they say your best bet would be battling and catching one in 1-star raids, but that leads me to believe that either A, it's going to be in the wild very, very rarely, or B, they expect you to encounter it in Go Battle League.
Yep.
Which I'm not sure personally.
Well, the kind of nice addition, of course, the shiny Timber that is going to be appearing from now on. But you're right. The way that they worded that is really strange, saying that it might be possible that it's going to be in the wild. But we'll see when the day comes. It's only until next weekend. So that's not too far from now. And we'll definitely be talking about it our next podcast on Sunday, if we get the time. But we'll see. All right. So Go Battle League Season 1 starts on Friday, March 13 at 1 p.m. And they are excited to announce that the Season 1 is finally going to come with this. We're fine-tuning the Go Battle League rewards. Depending on your rank, you'll receive increased Stardust rewards and different numbers of charge and fast TMs. That's good, because I think that they're just having the same rewards for all leagues or all ranks was actually getting a little bit on my nerves, because yeah, you're going up, but then you're still getting the same amount of everything that everybody does if you were on rank 1. So
I mean, you're fighting really high rank 9 trainers just for a chance of getting a Darkrai, and it's a little bit discouraging, to be honest.
Yeah, and it's good that they're actually changing that type of rewards when it comes down to it. So we'll see how the rewards matter when you go up, but I'm pretty sure that they're going to be the more you are in the ranks, the better it will be, of course. Now, winning matters much earlier in the ranks now. From rank 2 to 3 now require you to win a certain number of battles to advance to the next rank. Previously, the wins only mattered when you were rank 4. So they're making it just a little bit harder to get into higher ranks, but that means that, of course, you need to be more skilled in the game. So the Pokemon you can encounter as a Go Battle reward will change for Season 1. Metagross will be your guaranteed first encounter reward for Season 1. At rank 4, you'll have a chance to encounter Beldum. At rank 7, you'll have a chance to encounter a Rufflet, making its Pokemon Go debut ahead of appearing in Safari Zone Philadelphia. And last but not least, the tough Pikachu Libre will be making its debut as a guaranteed reward encounter when you reach a rank 10. In the future, Pikachu Libre will be available starting at lower ranks, but this season is your chance of challenge yourself to see if you can make it to rank 10. Trainers, Matchup, Snorlax, and Meditite will no longer appear in the Go Battle League encounters, but you'll encounter Scraggy more often. These rewards encounters might change next season, so be sure to give it your all and climb as high as you can in the rankings, trainers. What do you think about that, Chris?
Personally, I definitely have a good reason to try and get to rank 10. I mean, I wanted to get to rank 10, but when I went into Ultra, I started losing more, and then Master I did not have the Stardust to create like a meta team. I don't have a Dialga. I don't have a Origin Giratina. So I'd say the only really meta Pokemon I had is Kyogre and Metagross. So I felt I was running at a bit of a handicap, and I've just been going down. So as soon as they brought back the ability to use Great League battles, I have been winning a lot more. So I am happy for that. But
yes,
I am interested to see if I can make it to rank 10 when they start the actual season.
That is true. I, for myself, also wanted to go into rank 10. It's not been easy after Ultra League. I think I reached rank 9 when Great League was still a part of the season, the preseason. But I was not very happy after Ultra, because Ultra was just kicking my butt. No matter how much I tried, there was no way of knowing what was the good, what was the bad. Unless you had the good relevant meta Pokemon in Ultra, there wasn't really much you could have done. Master League was okay for the first few battles, but I really haven't done as much Master Leagues than I thought I would. Just because I do have some meta relevant Pokemon, I just don't have them all fully powered up. I need more candies, of course. But that makes more differences when it comes down to it. Now, of course, we'll talk about what the preseason is offering right now before the start of the season. But we'll continue on for just a little bit longer, guys. Before I go on into the next topic of the Go Battle League announcement, Pikachu Libre, of course, will be making his debut. And Rufflet will also be making his debut. Now, we knew that Rufflet was going to be released worldwide before the Safari Zone in Philadelphia. They did put it on their actual post saying, Rufflet, of course, going to be a featured Pokemon in the Safari Zone, but it will be available worldwide before this actual event, so you just have to wait for the announcement. This is the announcement, guys. A lot of people are.
Very cool to see.
Yeah, so a lot of people were saying, like, even from other podcasts that I was listening to, they're saying, oh no, they did not announce them. Why they make Rufflet, the one Pokemon that we're gonna catch the most in Safari Zone if they're gonna release it in Go Battle League. If you go back to the Safari Zone announcement, you'll see that Rufflet was saying that it's going to be available worldwide before the event. So maybe we'll get a chance to get a shiny if they surprise us that way. I don't know.
I don't know.
But I mean, that's just speculation at this point, guys. Don't get too hopes up, but you still get a chance at it before the actual Safari Zone. So we'll see how it goes from then on.
I mean, it's only a chance of seeing it too. So you could not encounter one. You could only encounter one. You could encounter six. But I mean, you're only going to get 6 candies from each one, and then you got to walk it. So
That's true.
chances are, by the time we go to Philly, we won't even have one evolved.
That's true. Unless you really put a lot of candies on it, or rare candies on it. So, rare candies is a must right now for all Go Battle League contenders or even PvP contenders. But either way, our next bulletin point is reach rank 10 to earn avatar items and avatar posts inspired by Steven. Now, who is Steven, you may ask? I'm glad you asked. Steven is a Pokemon League champion in the Hoenn region. Steven is both an incredible skill trainer, Pokemon trainer, and a kind and helpful mentor. His dedication to battle makes his avatar items and avatar post rewards a perfect match for the Go Battle League. The post is a reward exclusive to Season 1. So there is another incentive to get to rank 10.
Let me tell you, man, I am going to be trying my hardest because he is so cool and I love
All right, guys, everybody who's listening to the podcast right now, make sure that you go to his tour and be like, you got to do your battles for the day. You got to do your battles for the day for the next Season 1.
I am an Ace trainer in Sylph League, but it's so much harder to reach rank 10, in my opinion.
That is true.
I don't know. It's interesting.
That is true, and we'll talk about that in just a moment, Chris, of course. But, of course, that's another incentive to actually be able to get Steven's avatar and actual, posts and everything. So, I don't know. Now it's actually making me more do rank 10, but it's also going to be because it's Season 1. It's going to be, looks like to be a little bit harder than preseason, and that's because, you got to climb to the ranks to get there. Hopefully, I'll get it in, yes, rank 10 or bust, but hopefully we'll get it when the season comes around. So we'll see how it goes from then on. All right, so for the next part of the season announcement, at the end of Season 1, you'll receive an Elite Charge TM if you rank 7 or higher. So guys, the first time introducing Elite Charge TMs and Elite Fast TMs by using Elite Charge TM or Elite Fast TMs. Okay, Niantic, really, you have to make me say that 3 times. You'll be able to select the attack that your Pokemon learns. Not only that, the Elite Charge TMs and Elite Fast TMs will also allow Pokemon to learn attacks previously available only during events such as Raid Days and Community Days. Chris, I think everybody's happy about this, right?
I think there wouldn't be a single person that isn't excited about it. I mean, I think it's really nice of them to let anyone above rank 7 get a free one. It is a little bit sad that I believe, like, looking at it, all it's saying is we're going to get the Elite Charge TM. But in my opinion, the charge moves are a lot more important. I mean, you only get 2 shields. You can't shield the quick move, but the charge moves, man, they hit so hard.
That is true. I wanted to say one thing. Be a little more excited when you actually say this because come on, it's Elite Charge TM. It's the TMs that we needed for the longest time.
I don't mean to be unappreciative. It's just so I'm very confused which one I'm gonna use it on. I'm kicking myself over only having one chance.
All right, well.
So I'm really gonna think about it for a long time.
That's true. I mean, that's just the way that they think. Like, what you're gonna use this most privileged TM in the world, because do you want to use it on your Shadow Ball Mewtwo so it can learn Side Strike, so it has two of the best moves in the world? Or do you want to use it on your rank 1 PvP Pokemon to make sure that it has the Community Day move or something? So this is going to be a way to just like change the way that people are doing it. Now, of course, everybody who needs to these TMs are going to need to do the Go Battle League and at least reach rank 7 or higher to actually get them. Now, are you only gonna get one? We're not sure. We're probably gonna see if you get maybe more than one if you are higher in the ranks. But we'll see when that.
It's probably gonna be a high rank reward. Really.
Yeah. So it's kind of like it's bringing everybody together to do the Go Battle League, but then after that it's gonna separate them because they're either the raiders are gonna use it for their strong Pokemons and raids, or the actual PvPers are gonna use it for their PvP Pokemon. So I don't know.
I mean, you gotta remember, guys, if you evolved something either too late on a community day, you evolved it before a community day, or you just want a really old move, you can evolve it. Not evolve it. You can give it the charge move TM, the elite charge move TM, and give it any of the moves that you missed out on. So if you have a hundo, if you have a really good ranked PvP, make sure you use it on that Pokemon and not the wrong one. So name them, keep a close eye.
You're talking to my soul, right? Because I have like 2 or 3 of them that I need of that.
All I'm saying is I remember Metagross Day.
Yes. Well, here's the difference when it comes down to it. This Tyranitar here that I have is 100%. I hatched it before Community Day Tyranitar. It has Bite. This Metagross, I got it before Community Day Beldum. It doesn't have it has Psychic and Earthquake. So you know where my elite TMs are gonna go through, right?
I mean, yeah, you already have some really good choices there.
All right, you got off there. Chris.
Just restating, he has many, many perfect Pokemon, and all of them are great choices.
That is true. Now, there's also the way that these Pokemons are probably meta relevant in the Master League of the Go Battle League. So I'm going to probably use them on those specifically for the reason that I want them to be the very best that no one ever was. So. Gotta love this kind of talks, right?
It makes you think, like hearing what other people are going to do with theirs makes you wonder, should I do that?
Should I do that? But anyways, guys, if you want to actually talk about more of this, make sure that you email us or tweet at us. We'll be happy to respond to everything. If you guys want to use it specifically for the Pokemon that you want to use them, either Hundos or PvPs, let us know, because we want to know from you guys exactly what you're going to use your elite charms or your elite TMs to. So anyways, guys, so to finish off the Go Battle League announcement, the season league timeline is being announced also. So the Grey League for season 1 will run from March 13 to March 27th. So we actually have 2 weeks of the first season.
That works for me.
Yep. So 13 to the 27th, that is 2 weeks, guys. Then Ultra League will actually be from the 27th to the 10th of April. And then Master League will run from the 10th of April to the 24th of April. So this season is going to be a long one, guys. It's a month and a half if you look at it. Actually more, because all 3 leagues will also be available from April 24th to May 1st. So guys, this is
2 weeks for each one.
2 weeks for each one, plus the ending of the season with all 3 leagues. That makes it, I think, a month and 3 weeks.
I think it's a little bit. I might be wrong for April. I'm trying to think. 20. I think it's a little. Yeah, it's a little bit less than 2 weeks for the last one, but they give 2 weeks for each of them, and then I guess they just want to round it out.
Just like they're doing right now for the preseason, because the preseason right now you can bet on all 3 leagues. So guys, it's tough. it's a lot to talk about for sure, but this is happening right as the whole March Madness that we're having right now. So make sure that if you're gonna be doing the Go Battle League, make sure that you walk as much as possible, aside from those affected countries. But yeah, Go Battle League Season 1. We're finally here, guys. Am I excited? Probably not, but I'm gonna try my best. What about you, Chris?
I mean, yeah, of course. Like, I mean, my favorite place to battle is going to be Great League forever, just because all the Sylphs Cups I've done, and I feel like it's one of the easiest ones to get dust together for, because it costs, I don't know, like maybe 400,000 dust to set up a team. It feels like I know a lot of the higher up leagues require about the same, but you have to you have to like completely max out Pokemon for Master League. You don't want to go in with like a level 35 Pokemon if you can get it to 40.
Right. Yes, that is true. So, I mean, it's tough. It's gonna be tough because everything that we're actually doing right now with the madness that we have in this month, it's gonna be interesting how we're gonna be able to implement that into our already busy schedules. So just make sure you remember, guys, the more you walk, the easier it's going to be to do the rewards, and you can stack up to 2 battles at least until you're able to need to walk again, and up to 35 battles when the Go Battle in Season 1 starts. So I don't know. If you're a PvPer, go out there, walk, do whatever you need. If you walk at least 3 kilometers around the house, you're probably not, you're going to be able to do at least one. So,
I mean, I think it's pretty wild that they're letting you do that many a day. Like, who's going to be hitting that? I thought 25 was pretty wild.
oh, there's people out there dedicated, my brother. There are people out there dedicated for sure. All right, so that is almost the end of our podcast, but we have a little bit of more news to talk about. Just a small little reviews for the metas. But before we do that, I do want to congratulate everybody on the Silt Arena. Everybody who has been invited to regionals, and our very own co-host Chris got a regional invite. Congratulations, Chris.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. It is very exciting. I did not get one last year, so seeing it was very, very.
Yep, that is good, Chris. So you're gonna go all the way and represent us all, right?
Yep, me and 3 other people from our Discord are going to be traveling up to Orlando. So I'm definitely going to give some insight on how the battles go, how everyone does, and represent our town very.
Fair and square for sure. Now, of course, you're gonna go all the way and go to number 1, right? You're gonna win you're gonna win all regionals, right?
All I'm saying is I'm going to Continentals one way or another.
That is true. That is true. So again, congratulations to everybody who's got an invite. I've seen a lot of happy people out there. The Silk Arena, the way that they have been able to handle the PvP meta or the PvP scene has been incredible. Thank you to the Silk Arena for creating this amazing way to making sure that everybody is trying to be the very best that no one ever was. But Chris, again, we're just gonna go over a small little review of the metas in both the Great League, the Ultra League, and the Master League. What do you got
Okay,
for me?
well, a few of the ones for Great League that you'll be able to get on your own without trading people is going to be Azumarill, Bastiodon, Medicham, and Skarmory. Yeah, Skarmory, and a few of some other ones. You can check PvPoke for a few of those. Most of those you're just going to be able to find on any old day. Definitely not Shieldon, but you can get that from your Go Battle League rewards. So try to pick a league that you're good in. Try and get that, I would say. For Ultra League, you're definitely going to see some Registeals, same as the first one. So I would say you're definitely going to want a good counter user. I've seen a lot of people use Toxicroak in both of the leagues as a Registeel counter. I'm trying to think what else people have been using in Ultra League. Oh, Togekiss is very prevalent, so you can use that. Oh, yeah, and Giratina. Oh my gosh. Don't even get me started on Giratina. I hate it.
That's
So
true.
you can grab that soon, but you gotta bring something that can counter Giratina. There are a lot of community day moves, so if you need to, I would trade people for Venusaur, Swampert especially, because he counters a lot of the meta. He's very fast with Mud Shot. And I'm trying to think. Master League, you really just want anything that's very bulky and just can take charge moves. So Snorlax is very good. Dialga is very good. The Charmers are very good because they cut through that thick fat. So really, all of the metas, Togekiss is going to be very solid. And Heatran has been interesting. I don't think people have been utilizing it very much because I don't think it's as fast as people have been expecting it to be. Other than that, for Master League, Origin Giratina and the other Giratina are both still prevalent. And you do have that hundo. I do know that. But I don't know if that's been treating you very well. Has it?
It treated me well for the beginning of Master League for sure. But then I think they found a good counter to the counter, and I had two Pokemons in my team that were weak to Earthquake, so I was getting wrecked. But
I mean,
definitely,
yeah, it's hard.
definitely, it's been a kind of a thing that Master League, it was okay for a little bit. I mean, I did go 5-0 on my first set, but then after that, I didn't really do as much. When I went back to it, it wasn't the best of performance. So definitely, there is a lot of Giratina Origin form out there. Ultra form can be good if you know how to use them correctly in switches. If you get a cut off switch, usually your Giratina will just die off anything from either a Charmer or anything that just hits it hard, or even his own other form. So I know for a fact that it's just a miss or bust. It's mostly just trying to win the lead and making sure that you can counter your lead. So unless you have a good coverage on all your different types, you're not going to be able to win that much in Master League.
I mean, it's really hard because a lot of people are going to bring in their hard counter against a first matchup if they lose it, and then they're going to have a hard counter for the hard counter of yours. So you're not going to have a good counter to the first Pokemon then. So it's really good to have a soft counter if you can, and then hard counter it after it farms you down. So
Yep.
it's very troublesome.
Yep, that's what Master League is. But we'll see how it goes from the coming days. We have a full 2 weeks in season 1, so we're for sure gonna be talking about it, how the metas are gonna be evolving from then on. If Pokemon Go decides to start doing some bandings to the actual like relevant meta, maybe this is the season to do it, and maybe this is makes sure that Pokemon or Niantic is not afraid to switch up some of the more relevant Pokemons in any of the metas when it comes down to it. Great League being the most diverse, of course, but then the Master League being less diverse for the reason that if you have those Hondos, you're most likely to win in everything. So,
yeah, for sure. And the best buddy boosts have been definitely working for people, especially in Master League.
Yep.
I mean, I have seen some best buddy Sableyes that have been just wrecking, and of course Metacham. But I personally think that man, just lost my train of thought.
That's fine, Chris. That's fine. No worries. So, anyway, guys, this is all we have for today. Chris, I want to thank you once again for joining me for this amazing podcast.
It has been very nice. I love talking about PvP.
And guys, everybody who's been listening and actually coming to the streams, Deadly Gacha, I seen you. Papercut, thank you very much for coming by. Guys, if you're listening this podcast in podcast form in any of the feeds like Apple Podcasts or Google Podcasts, make sure that of course you leave a review if you like it. Make sure that you download the episode. I'll try to get it out as soon as possible, of course, but we're actually be getting a lot of people actually listening to the podcast in other forms. So I think we have up to now 89 individual downloads into different phones and computers. So I do want to thank everybody who's actually been wanting to listen to us and everybody who's been helping us grow as a podcast. I know this is only episode 4, But I always like to at least give a shout out to everybody who's at least been able to, stumble upon us and they say, hey, I want to listen to this, guys. Thank you very much. Keep on listening, please.
It's been very encouraging.
Yes. So the more you guys listen, the more it encourages me to make sure that I can bring this podcast to you guys every Sunday and every time we have the chance to do it. So, but of course, if you want to keep on talking to us, make sure that you connect with us on our social medias. Of course, for me, it's Pure Let It Go. You can also email us on the PurifiedPodcast@gmail.com. And of course, if you want to send us a text or voice message, our number is 941-417-9243. Chris, where can they find you?
You can find me at my Twitter. It is Christo, like Christopher, with 0517 after the O. Feel free to send me anything PvP related, and I will answer.
That is true. Therese, Chris, Christopher, thank you very much once again. And thank you again, once again, to everybody listening to this. This has been the Purified Podcast. And of course, we'll see you guys in the next one.